Okay, so we've got it all put together here. We hung the EV charger, plugged it into its outlet. And so now just want to do a quick overview before we cover everything up, just to remind everybody what we've done so far, what you've seen in these past videos. Let's talk briefly about the fact that we brought power from the utility. Now in this case, this was a sub panel. We were operating from a sub panel. Many houses it would be coming from the main panel. In that case, we can leave loads in this panel over here that are not going to be backed up. The non-backup loads would stay in this panel, and then everything else would be downstream of this piece of equipment. Now this is the power coming in here from this panel, goes up through here. We have the CTs, we have the microgrid interconnect device here, and then that isolates in a power outage everything that's going on here. All right. In this particular case, we're running everything, all the loads that are connected to this off of the smart circuits. We've got an electric vehicle charger here. We've got the outlet here, and we've got another electric vehicle charger. The main reason that I'm personally using this is for electric vehicle charging and eventually using the DC EV charger, which will be bidirectional. That's where this thing is moving towards, okay? All the loads in this particular setup are on these smart circuits. If we wanted to have a sub panel that was not running on smart circuits, we could pull it off of here. And PointGuard has a product where we can come off of this and go into another panel that has monitoring on every single circuit. And so monitoring and control, monitoring doesn't give you control, it gives you information. These are all monitored and controlled, the ones in here. And so we want to control the circuits that matter most. And that would include things like electric vehicle chargers like we have here, possibly air conditioning, your stove, a hot tub, things like that. If they were on this side of the microgrid controller, then you'd want to have control over those things. In my house, if I go into backup mode and my hot tub is running, that can consume all the power and the energy from my battery very quickly. So I don't want to do that. So I want to cut that thing off. And so by having those smart loads, that gives you that option. Okay, so that's the way this is set up. So this has input from the utility, output to the backup loads that are not controlled, and then all the controlled loads here. Since these are each 80 amps, that's an enormous amount of power that you can control here. So because of the capabilities of these control circuits, there's going to be a lot of installations where you never use these backup terminals because you don't need to. You might be going to a whole sub panel or something like that. So it just matters how much control you want to have and how much monitoring you want to have. And if you want to have individual monitoring, then you would add that additional box that has the individual monitoring on it. Okay, so here is where our Ethernet cable comes in that is communicating with the battery. So that is a critical part. That is communicating with the brains of this. So when this opens up, it tells this inverter to change mode. So a lot of folks refer to it as grid following mode when it's connected to the grid, and grid forming mode when it opens up the circuit and then operates in what the code calls is island mode. Okay, so now it's operating in island mode, operating the loads that are in here and any loads that are connected to the backup here. And as long as there's solar and as long as there's battery storage here, we're good to go. And when the EV two-way charger gets added to this system, then we have additional energy storage. So I have an EV that has 65 kilowatt hour battery and another EV that has an 85 kilowatt hour battery. So that's a significant amount of energy storage that I could add to my home by doing that. Okay, so that's one of the modes. There's a bunch of drawings that we've worked together with the PointGuard folks that I've put together that show a lot of different use cases for this equipment and how you would use it. Again, each of these controllers can put out 11.4 kilowatts. That's a pretty large inverter. And as you can see here, we could have two of them connected in here, over 22 kilowatts of power, which is substantial. And I would say that most homes, most typical homes in the United States would do quite nicely with 22 kilowatts of power and load control. In fact, most homes would do fine just with one 11.4 and load control. So load control is the key. And that's what makes things work correctly, because if somebody accidentally turns something on that consumes a lot of power, it'll either drain the battery dry very quickly, or it'll actually cause the inverter to overload. We don't want either of those things to happen, and so that's why we have load control here to prevent that. Okay, so that's the basic setup. We're going to go ahead and put the covers back on, and we're going to go through commissioning.